welcome back to my channel here at Michelle Huerta Art, as well as Soulpore Studio. So this is going to be a funny video. There's going to be a lot in this one. I ended up doing 3 pours on this canvas. This is a reused canvas that had been gessoed. And yeah, I'm going to speed up a lot of this video so you can kind of see the whole process, and believe me, it is worth it, I believe, at the end. So and I'm also going to point out some of my mistakes here, because we need to show those as well, as artists and as teachers and everything. So I'm showing some colors here. These are all house paints. We've got a Van Dyke brown, and that is a caramel pigment. This is a deeper kind of red, deep cherry kind of metallic. This is an orange red. And we're speeding up now. Here we go. So that was some Nicolazo gold, some green, some latte color pigment, which I ended up needing to thin out a bit. Because, okay, so in full transparency here, I am using up a lot of old paints. So this was totally playing around, trying to, oh, there's a really nice red. You'll see that later in the second pour on this piece. So putting down some of the base white. Actually, the white had a little bit of an interference, the Amsterdam interference green in it, which I was thinking with playing around here in this piece that I was going to do something that was very earthy with the colors that I had, which you'll see in a moment. But so, yeah, it ended up being quite a few things. Sloppy. The first mistakes, you know, I was totally just messing around here. Play, no big deal. When I say mistake, it's not like a negative thing. It's just, it is learning, and it's all good, no worries. But my paint was a different brand that I was using than usual, and a lot thinner, so I ended up using more. And I'm also just trying to kind of get rid of and play with these older paints that I had made. So what I'm doing here is, as you can tell because of the colors, I'm playing around with making a tree that I'm going to later swipe. And I thought that the swiping technique, you know, using the friction with the different products would be able to really create a fun kind of bark effect with the swiping. Back in a sec, and you can watch how this piece evolves. Okay, so here I'm going to be using this palette knife, large one, and putting on the white, Amsterdam white, along with the Australian Floetrol, mixing 3:1 ratio, and I'm just going to play around with a lot of different, swiping out all of these super thick little layers of my tree-esque kind of thing in process. Yeah, so this was really funny, and I'll just let you watch the rest of it. Yeah, it doesn't really work out, I'll tell you ahead of time, but you know, you don't know till you go. So this piece was not meant to be a tree. That's all right. It's all good. And this is the whole point of playing around in flow and in creativity. You just see what happens. At least I can say it is for me and those that I coach and teach, because you just got to let yourself show up and see what wants to happen moment to moment. And it doesn't have to be right. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just showing up and doing what I could here to see what would come of this piece. And because I was kind of messy, honestly, and floppy with using too much of the colors as well on top of my too much of the white base, I don't really get the best effects here that I was envisioning. The mind's agenda said, oh, it's got to look like this. And then when it all kind of happened, I was like, yeah, no, that's not working at all. So yeah, I ended up scraping this one and playing with the scrape of it next. Yeah, so at this point I decided to give it a little spin out just to stretch out some of the swipes. I know it kind of looks strange, but up close there's a lot more detail and a lot more of the actual cell effects and lacing. So I thought maybe I could spread things out and that would make it, something that I could end up working more with. But to be honest, yeah, even after spinning, this was kind of like no, there's nothing really to salvage here. It had some interesting points and things that maybe that I could play with, but it just was a mess. It just didn't look right. No matter how much I was like, can I tweak this? Can I mess with that? Sometimes it's just you gotta scrape. You gotta just say, yeah, no, this is not all right. This is not working. In life as well, right? If something's not working, it's okay to do a do-over. So, yeah, done. So, but this was funny because what I ended up here doing is, because I had all that paint already on the canvas, I just kind of smooshed it around and I had that beautiful bright red and I thought, well, I've got this nice soft pinkish brown. I'm just going to see what I can do now. Really, all of this is ad lib for sure. As a lot of creativity is, honestly. So you'll see what happens with this one. And again, there was some really cool details in this. I just messed about with it. There was some really lovely details. And spoiler alert, it doesn't end up working. And the final piece does. So enjoy watching. I'll see you in the final piece. Hey again. So I'm messing around with some of the stuff here. And again, if you saw this close up, there are some actually very interesting areas. But no. She says not gonna have it. And that's all right. It's all good. It was just not working. And this is not about trying to create a perfect fluid art piece. I don't believe that creativity is at all ever about perfection or about having to get it right. This was like totally playing around and it was not working. So we're going to move here into, on the same canvas, I decided I had a whole bunch of full spectrum, the rainbow colors from having a client session here in my studio, and decided, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to play in an old standby of a ring pour. And I think it was a straight and a ring pour, actually, it ended up. So going through my colors here, colors of the rainbow mixed in with a little bit of layers of white and black and gold. And yeah, this piece, I gotta say, I really love how it turned out. And it is currently drying beautiful as I am narrating this little vid here. And an interesting thing about what I did with this piece, that you'll see a little bit of it in the corners when I do the final reveal at the end, is that I used, instead of a flow extender, regular kind of a fluid art flow extender, which is the scraped up pieces of paint from other pieces, other canvases that I save and recycle in as a flow extender. I used a flow extender from a pearl and cloud pour. So you're going to see the effects of what that does even in this ring pour. So here we go. I'll see you at the end. Okay, so thanks for watching all of that. Here is the final piece. And it was a layered kind of rainbow colors mixed in with some black, whites, and golds in there. I love those layers there of the black. So the black was actually the center, but it ended up getting pushed off the edge there because we have this really fun gold kind of, heart. I don't know. An unfolding, a blossoming. Yeah, so let me pan out so you can see the whole piece. Lots of fun. I love these like green boulder cells popping out through the reds and pinks. There's a few more there. And notice also, so this canvas was reused and poured on, as you saw, many a time. What is that? Hold on, sorry. Didn't mean to zoom on in and make you... Ooh, look at those fun little edges there. There. But I also, the flow extender that I used on this was not acrylic. Well, it's acrylic paint, but it's a cloud. It was scraped from it was flow extender, but from pearl and cloud pores. So it's going to be interacting a bit with the underlayer, with the top layer. I mean, it's an underlayer, and it's going to be interacting a little bit. So this will be continuing to develop. Look at those funky. They look like peacocks, don't they? Look at those little funny, like that one even has an eye. So is that one. But yeah, so there'll be a little bit more development with some of those purple cells popping through. Yeah. You know, I think... the name of this one that just came to me is the Heart Spectrum. Heart of the Spectrum. Yeah, that feels right. Yeah. Many do-overs on this canvas, and this one is the final piece. You got to keep trying. You got to keep creating and exploring and flowing and see what happens. Look at that heart. I love that. Or whatever it is. Almost could be like a cinnamon roll. Anyway, thanks so much for watching the many incarnations of this canvas. This is Heart of the Spectrum, and we'll see you in the next video. Much love.